Kevin Lindsay, Mark Milkovich, the Mouth, 2021 Dallas Holiday Classic main event. Ryan McCook from North Carolina, a GT veteran. He is the king of the hill, which means Andy Haas has to beat him 2 times if he'd like to become the 2021 Dallas Holiday Classic champion. But as Mouth and I were just discussing, if there's anybody who's going to double dip somebody to win from the loser side, it's Andy Haas, because he's done it in Worlds. He did it 2 years ago in Austin at this last Holiday Classic against David Duncan and plenty of other times.
He got me. Now, it's a weird thing, too. It's a weird phenomenon, because coming up until, going from 4 in the beginning of live in tournaments, double dipping never happened. Like, no one had gotten double dipped at a major event up until, maybe 2012. It was ridiculous. Like, the King of the Hill basically won the tournament. Now everybody's a lot more equal. It's a little bit crazier. But this could easily be a Haas could double dip. I'm going to say right now, though, Haas's gameplay is down quite a bit comparatively, and McCook's is probably the most in the country right now, is my guess.
Yep.
I don't see commercial much, but, he's probably right there.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely top 10, top 5 McCook for sure. And then just a quick update, Chris Longino is King of the Hill in purple.
Okay, and he just played...
Mark Gomez. He beat Mark Gomez. So you guys can see in the background to your left, Todd Clark plays as Bacon, playing against Mark Gomez. They are playing for 3rd place right now.
Okay.
But the winner of Purple Bracket will win an entry into the 2022 World Championship February 24th and 27th.
So now, actually, though, Gino's King of the Hill, you said?
Yes.
He is not participating in Worlds, correct? Is he working with you guys now?
It's TBD. So it's one of those where,
And he had already qualified anyway, I thought, in 2020.
I'd have to.
Or did he? Because the plan was for the Worlds at the end of 2020 for Gino to announce, and he stepped off and didn't take his qualifier spot. If it's not going to happen, I wonder what. Do we? Hopefully he just wins this year, so we don't have a decision to make. There's no issues. We can get around it. But if you guys are looking, man, all right. Making the cut in this field itself was challenging as all heck. I know we all had a really higher cut line in mind, but what we didn't realize is every course set up to be the lowest par of that course could be. Baja was set for 28.
Yep.
That's rare for me to see. Tropical's par was 30 or 31 if you get one. Forest was the low par of it. And what was the other one? Monty Hole 1 wasn't there. So that was the low par of it. So, it was you could have easily had this cut line be 7 strokes higher. Not that people played bad, but it's really how the course is set up. If stuff's not there, we're not getting those. It's pretty simple. You lose strokes if the hole isn't drivable.
Exactly. Well, and plus you talk about, people qualifying in groups of 2 or 3 over a couple of hours yesterday. Mm-hmm. You're not – a lot of the top guys do, but not everybody's going to be at the top of their game when it comes to, getting the scores they're used to when playing at their home bar.
Now, who was the higher seed here? I believe it was Haas, because it looks like he made McCook go first.
Well,
I think Haas was the higher seed. I think he was
yeah, I believe so.
And what's interesting here, this is another one. Up until Stouts and the last 2 years of courses, it would have been a decision for me. If I was the higher seed, a lot of times I would choose to go first because I wanted my opponent to try to follow me. Well, now, with the advent of Stouts and how the courses lay out and using tees, going first on a hole is actually probably a half a stroke disadvantage, because you can actually read, since Haas is playing Stouts, McCook's playing Stouts, you can get a very good reel with the miles per hour off the ball, and you're going to see a lot of thumb shots. So playing second in a match like this is a huge advantage right now. It's such a big advantage for Haas. And Haas used to think it was a bigger advantage for him to be the blue guy because of superstition rather than have the gameplay to back it up. Okay, so then McCook chose to go first then. All right, so that's a chush, guys.
I chose him to have Haas. Now,
that's big right there.
Yeah.
That's really big. One good kick there. That's a one-stroke swing. Wouldn't have mattered. McCook's going to be going first on 2. Now, guys, let's not worry about any early stroke changes here. I'm gonna guess that we're gonna see at least both people lose a stroke. This is an interesting set here. It's going to be impossible to get at the pin, but if you hit this shot right, both players should end up being about 70 feet away on the middle of the green. Ryan actually didn't hit. That's what he didn't want to do, but he caught the rock on the first one. So I'm trying to cut it in. I want to hit the rock wall on a fly so I get the furthest kick forward. I would not have hit that, because if he would have gone a little farther forward and hit the rock on the way down, that ball shoots to the right side and it might go wet. Now, this up 3 putt, 66 feet, Andy's a thumb putter. He normally doesn't miss that. But the problem there with being a thumb putter, that shot has a little hidden break to it, right? It has a slight half-degree break that doesn't show up in it. So Haas hit that dead straight. I bet if we looked at the meter, you'd see it dead straight. But it leaked at the end. So now we got a 2-stroke game. This is going to be... McCook can just kind of lay back and play this out. He should center of greens right now. Straight center of the green, make a putt. No, Jay, who else? We have multiple world champions.
So Kinsler's the first one. He was 2002 and 2007. Haas was 2008 and 16.
Correct.
And then Stenmark was, 17 and 19?
Yes.
Yeah, and then, excuse me, I always forget this one. Jeff Harlow.
He's 2?
I believe he's 2.
I thought he's just 1.
I thought he was just 1, but I feel like every time I have this conversation, I always forget somebody and I get called out on it.
It's a little bit different now too. I'd say winning world championships now from 2016 and on is probably a tougher accomplishment. Actually, the one he won in 2008 was different because that was single elimination back then.
That was the 300-plus Open,
That was,
right?
We had 400 people. We had our 12-man USA team, 12-man world team. Guys, and I'm hoping, I hope Kevin thinks this too, but I think he wants to see the worlds go back to being a world field again. And I'm hoping with the PGA stuff coming out that we can get to that level. It sounds really likely, and it's a good thing going through.
No, that's...
Eversole has 2, not Harlow.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, Eversole.
Yeah, and it took some battles last time. It was really close for the world team. We had some good ones there. I mean, world team competed pretty well. But back then, guys, the world teams were at pretty much a significant disadvantage to us. UK, Australia, and South Africa didn't get the courses for like 3 or 4 months after we did. So when we get to Worlds, they'd only played them for a couple months. Well, we're over here talking it up with our buddies, figuring out all the shots. I mean, it's a distinct disadvantage. But I got a feeling that changes, so world players... Keep your eye out. Keep your eye out. Watch for the mouth to show up in your city. Preferably London. I love you, London people.
Once we
my
see
favorite.
mouth in London, we know it's all over.
I'm going to wear the Joey hat from Friends, and I'm going to get into that map. I'm going to be inside of that map. You got to get in it to figure your way around there.
All right, so Andy Haas, most people are not used to watching these streams and seeing him down, much less down 2 strokes so early.
But he's not down. It's not a bad 2. He didn't miss 2.
No.
McCook got a fortuitous bounce on 1 to get a putt. Haas missed his chush. Now, this is where I'm going to say, when we all switched to stouts, I said that Haas was going to be the single most dominant player that we've ever seen. If you guys don't know, Haas probably has the most robotic and best thumbs ever. And I can justify that quantifiably because if you look at old closest to the pin, where it was hole-in-ones were what determined the win.
Yep.
Okay, he and Chris Litzinger were 35 to 40% hit rate. And I want to say the next 10 of us in the world were 25 to 28%. They were 10% better hit rate than us. And that's purely due to their thumb shot abilities. It really is. But what we see is you looked on 1, Haas's chush was off by a degree to the right. His putt was off a little bit to the right, too. So
it wasn't much. It was just a hair.
But if you're not thumbing straight, it takes away the huge advantage that we have using the stouts. And, I mean, I know for myself, if I hit my first couple thumb shots and they're all over the place and not going exact, I basically have to eliminate it from my bag because a misfired thumb shot doesn't get you the corrective action back towards the middle. If I pull back and hit a ball and I miss it really bad, guess what? It's still going to direct right back to the middle. Somewhat. It's not going to be perfect, but it will be safe.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to a tiny island green and I spray a thumb shot, that ball's gone. And that's a perfect shot here. We're going to see some interesting stuff coming up here. So we got him down by 2. This is a really tough shot to hold out. And if you get too aggressive and miss this to the high side of the pin off to the left, this ball's going to be in deep rough. And that's a really tough chip. Neither one did. Really good shots.
Yeah, I would say great shots by both these guys.
I can't believe I was surprised to see Haas high tee that. I was thinking more he'd hammer a cut bite shot because you weren't going to land. You'd have to dunk that to make that from there.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. But he's going to pick and choose his battles coming through.
Well, and that's the thing. It's still in, and it's still early in the match. And again, I think Paul Luna and Andy Haas, like those two guys, they're one to come back from being down plenty of times in matches. So. Jay Ware, Antonio Barak, thanks for joining us here.
It's so funny when you watch Luna. Luna's been winning a lot lately and playing well. He's not doing anything amazing. He's not shooting 3 or 4 betters. He's just not missing. He's just not missing anything. And basically, he then has the head game with all of us. I know it's been a joke going around how we're always saying Luna's winning ahead before the tournament things. But I tell you what, any person that he plays thinks that too. So the head game advantage, all he has to do is not make mistakes. So now we're going to have to start looking. So it's the back 9 almost. We're going to start looking at holeouts. Is this one to attack? Probably not. It probably isn't. If you're going to attack this, you're not going to high tee that 10.5. If Haas does that same shot with a bite 10.5 with no high tee, he could snap it up toward the hole, but he could also snap this towards the hole and pull it wet. Now, he can't get wet with that, but that's a great shot. See, look at this.
He went with the 3-wood there, and I like, I like the cut he put in. I'm glad he did the bite.
Yep. But where we looked at angle, I couldn't have gotten wet. I thought that the pin was closer to the middle where it's a deeper slope going, that it could get wet. So there was really no risk there. Here's another one. The only way you're going to ace this is by dropping down a club and hammering this. It's not going to back up enough with a standard thumb shot. So, I mean, that's a perfect shot. He gave it a chance to go in, but he doesn't really care right now. He's sitting there coasting back. He's counting his winnings right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what McCook's doing right now. He's counting his winnings in his head.
Now, it's interesting that Haas uses the 5-iron here and that, McCook's the 5 hybrid. Because I always 5 hybrid, but that's a perfect hole where, you saw it. Andy almost aced it because he had that higher loft with the 5-iron.
Correct. And it's just going to be a different preference. Now, I thought Haas was a 5 hybrid chipper, but he might be a 5-iron chipper like myself. And those of us, and a lot of the times the older school of the player is the more likely they were chipping with the 5-iron. Because we started chipping with the 5-iron when the first courses came out, but they had no hybrids. But the second year of Golden Tee in 2008, hybrids came out, and they became a really big set. In fact, there were a lot of us that didn't buy the hybrids that called Brad Litz, God rest his soul, to actually go and one of the office machines to swipe us in and buy us the clubs that we didn't have because they were gone. We didn't have this neat app, none of these newfangled things out there like applications on your phone. I don't even think we had cell phone data back then. I mean, that's when the Sprint modems on these machines were, wow, this is amazing.
Right. The OG, as I like to call it, the OG Sprint modems.
Wow, did you see that? They gave us a 240 megabyte picture. This is amazing. But hopefully we get light years ahead now. Now we're going to have those are going to be gone. All right. Now, he doesn't have to do anything for
it. Yeah, this is an Andy Haas problem because he's running out of holes, and this is a little too close to comfort towards the water there.
Now, I couldn't see if he high-teed it, but that's right.
He did. You can barely
see it.
Yeah. I'll be your eyes in the sky.
Oh, good man. All right, so Andy's trying to cut it and make it. I think that was I didn't like. Oh, wow. Honestly, I thought the high tee shot going right at it would have been a lot easier. I didn't think that cutting that one in, because it brought unnecessary risk in. All right, so we got 2 strokes here.
But again, it's hole 12, and
I mean, every shot you miss on this course is 2 strokes. So, I mean, 18. If I'm within 2 going into 18, I've got a chance. 17, you could easily overcut, undercut, hit the rock wall. And it'll be curious to see if McCook would even think of laying up on one of those holes. 18, you can't lay up on. No. I don't know.
I've tried to do it before. There's not really a good layup spot because even if you go to the fairway to the right of the green, it's a major elevation change, and most people aren't equipped to handle that. And they're just not used to it.
I've said it for a long time. The elevation change is the one thing in Golden Tee that we don't have a metric to determine what it is. It is always a guessing game. Now, you get better as you play more on the course and put the balls in the similar spots, but it is a guessing game. We know how much wind, we know break, we know all of that stuff. We've been hitting cut shots for years. So, like this hole, I know almost everybody when this course came out, we always went up top. Right, but that up top is a dramatic change in height. So you have a variable in your swing that you don't have a number for. Like, I can't just define it. I can't.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say elevation changes X amount of feet or kind of anything like that.
So the only way you can know that is with feel. Now Ryan put backspin on that. It's perfect. He thumbed that full. He knew he couldn't go long. Andy's gonna have to hit the 6. Is this
6 with
this
bite? Probably.
Is this where I think he's going to let it go naked, because the 6 won't carry the distance to the hole, and you have to get this up there, or else you'd be short. And he might have gotten that. Oh, but he knew that wouldn't go long with the 6. The 6 is one of those clubs, guys, that with no pullback, your distances is way lower than what it shows on the overhead. Now, we did get some excitement going back there. I'm not sure. There's 3 left in the purple, too, I believe, right?
Yes, we've got Gino is King of the Hill in purple, and then it's Gomez and Bacon.
Okay, so we got – okay, so he went high T here, high T thumb. It's a shot he could not miss.
Yeah.
You didn't need to high T thumb that. He could have just hit a 5-wood, but he couldn't miss it. I think Andy's going to go with he's going to thumb the high T3. Okay, high T4 with roll. Same shot. Did he get it? And no. All right, so now he's in Andy's head. He's got to be thinking he hopes McCook misses something stupid, like misses a putt. 1 stroke is a lot better because even if you water 18, that still can only be 1 stroke sometime, depending on where the pin is, the chips.
Yeah, where that drop is.
Mm-hmm. All right. See, there's not going to be any. He's going to just flip this up there. I'd probably flip this up with roll even. It's going to.
But this is a good chance for Haas to give it a run.
The only problem is if Haas depends on how he wants to give it a run at it. I mean, for Ryan, he can do this and let it go up the green and trickle down. Probably not going in. He doesn't care if it goes in or not. But it's really gentle. Now, does Andy go maybe a lower trajectory and try to burn it at the cup more? And if you do that, you bring it out of play. Did he go high tee?
He
no,
just went
medium.
backspin.
That's beautiful.
Oh.
He had to muscle up on the thumbs, and that's another thing. When you're playing a thumb shot, you have to play. You play the club that you got to muscle up on it. Your tendencies to spray it a little bit off of the line that you want is a lot higher.
All right, so 13. Well,
okay,
13 mile an hour wind to viewer.
Pins up top. This is. He couldn't have asked for a better setup. I mean, if I'm him right now, I'm hitting a high T5 with him. I'm hitting almost a full A1. There's no risk of anything but being safe. I mean, that was a more risky shot because if you look, that mountain curves back. So the higher you are, the less likely you are to hit the mountain. You bring the wall. Yeah, he's doing. This is the right shot. It is absolutely the right shot. And did he get it? Oh, that was the right shot. Ryan hit. I'm going to tell you right now, if I went and talked to Ryan about that shot he just hit there, and said, "Wow, dude, that was kind of risky being up 2 strokes to hit a ball that you could have easily clipped the wall on," he'd probably go, "Yeah, I know." But he's also not changing his game too, so that's all right. This is actually a great look for Andy because you're playing stouts. It's 8 in your face now, but you got a dramatic downhill, so he's looking to lay up, man.
That's what I was saying. I don't think he will.
You cannot lay up. You bring birdie into play when eagles in play when you don't. And he laid into that. I think that's going to go past. Oh, that's a peach. All right, that does it, guys. We got the Dallas Holiday Classic champion right there, don't we? Ryan McCook played it. Guys, it was a clean game. I mean, that shot on 2 wasn't an easy one, and the shot on 1 was not a gimme either. Look at Andy with the full. Look at this.
See how much ultra shots it.
But that's the elevation change that we're talking about. Did you see how much that ball? I mean, both of their shots were 50 yards long in the water, and even with stouts, those balls came back. It's so hard to play that with that elevation change. That's a hell of a match, dude. That's a great job, Ryan McCook.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Andy. He knew it was going to be tough going in there, having to beat McCook twice. As he was the king of the hill, but
And I'm sure McCook's playing as confident as he can be. I mean, knows he's light years above everybody. That's crazy. He's playing great. Stouts have been his friend. He's fantastic. That was.
Well, and now McCook, and both of these guys too. McCook, Andy. Tough loss for Andy, but they're still riding high going into the Top Gun tournament.
Correct.
Over $35,000 in the prize pool, and it's a free roll from the last, from the 2 tournaments in 2020.
$36,000, I think.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a look at that? Once they get these scores added in, we're going to see. I don't think the Top Gun brackets are going to change at all from here. I think that's all set. I don't think anybody from purple is moving up.
I don't believe so. Last I checked, I had no chance in Little Gun, so I stopped looking at it, to be honest.
Well, it was he scheduled us for 4 o'clock for the Top Gun, so I'm guessing it will be 5 o'clock now because we're going to have to get a few matches in from purple. Correct. I would have to say we're looking at about 5 o'clock. But let's go through this a bit. All right, so the 1 seed's obviously Paul Luna. He's won a few tournaments.
Yep.
It looks like, he's Art DeVries. His run today, him making the cut, moved him into the 32nd spot into the Top Gun. Actually, just had Art was in town. He had a wedding out in my area, so me, his wife Bryn, and Jill, we all went out, had a couple drinks, played some tea, had a great time. Art's a great guy.
Oh yeah, honestly, he's one of the few people that sends me a message on Facebook, and I don't roll my eyes thinking it's probably some kind of comment or criticism. If anything, he's just like, "Hey, man, you guys are doing great. Like, I get it. You know, he's a business guy. He understands it.
If I get a message from him, it's like, "What would you hit on this shot, Mouth?"
Like he needs the answer right then and there.
Oh, no, but hey, guys, in case you haven't noticed, the Word of Mouth Facebook page, I'm extremely responsive. It doesn't matter the question. I'm going to try to help you guys out in any which way I can, whether it's helping you procure a machine, fix a machine, fixing the issues with your terrible swing that you guys have, whatever. I'm here to help. Reach out. I'll be the buffer. If it's something that needs to go to IT, I'll get it right up to him. But I'll put some force behind it, right, Kevin?
Oh yeah. All right. So if you guys want to take a look, so we're looking at our brackets. We're not just texting our wives and girlfriends.
Correct.
But PEGTtour.com. Click on the tournaments, and you can take a look at the main bracket to see how. Obviously, we know Ryan McCook just won, but if you want to see the rest of results, purple match, the third place just got finished, so they're going to call that up to Stream Machine here.
Yeah, we'll talk through this one too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect.
Yep. And then if you want to understand a little bit more about the points leader and the leaderboard, just click on points leader, and then you can see exactly what Mouth and I are looking at.
And if you're looking at the points leader, if you go to the Dallas Holiday Classic, the last tab at the bottom of that will give you the brackets for that event. I want to say that nothing can change. Who is the finals in the? It's Mark Gomez, but he's already higher than the bot. He's already there, and it's Gino. Is Gino already in the?
Chris Longino is the king of the hill there.
But is he in the main? Is he? Oh yeah, and he's already in the. He is already in. So we are good. These brackets will change a little bit. Gomez will go up when he gets his points for the purple, which is going to be, 200 for second? I think. I'm not sure. So he'll probably go up a spot, and the winner will go up a couple spots too. So the bottom edge of this bracket right now, it looks like Gino won't be playing George Von Kay, and it looks like Gomez will not be playing. Who is Gomez? Right now, Gomez would be playing Kyle Heasley. I would suspect that. Oh, actually, that would Gomez. I don't know if his points are going to. Do you have the points list there? You had the points list right up there.
Yes, I have the point list up here.
All right, so Gomez is right now. He's right behind me in the points.
So I was looking to see how badly I fell. So where is?
Keep going up. Gomez there.
So Gomez is right underneath you.
Yeah, and what he's going to get a couple hundred here.
Yeah, he's already got 180.
Oh no, wait, but does he have 4 scores already in though? Does he have 4 scores? He does.
He does, and
He's only going to jump.
He will jump because this is his. This would be his 4th.
No, he's got 4 already.
Yeah, but it's the best 4.
Right. So he'll wipe off his bottom, which was 170.
Right, and
get 2. He'll get less than 250. He'll get. So he's going to gain 30 points.
Yeah, so he'll be right underneath.
He can't change. Gomez will not go up or down. Gino, what is Gino at there? Let's see what his 4 tournaments are, because I don't know if he has 4 tournaments in.
Let's see. Gino does, I believe.
If he does, then most likely this isn't going to help him out. So I'm guessing that we're not going to see much change in the points. Thank you, Paul. You know me. Always got to be rocking something Chicago. So it doesn't look like the brackets are going to change much.
Nope.
So we can kind of discuss this through. Okay, 1 and 32 are going to be the same. So Paul Luna's playing Art. Okay, hey, Art could come out. He can shoot a clean game, beat Luna. Not going to be the most likely outcome there. You got Paul Taylor and Will Sandstead. That's going to be a good match to watch. Paul Taylor, man.
He's been on fire today.
But have you noticed that everything he does is just to be contrary?
Oh, yeah. I said this earlier.
He started Stouts way before everybody. Once everybody he went back to Titans.
Yep.
And I think it cost him a bunch this week.
Honestly, I'll be honest. I completely forgot that the chipping wedge was even a club in the game, and he pulled it out earlier for a hole out. I was like, come on, Paul. Of course he did.
Well, and I don't know if you noticed, there's another technique that's going around. You'll see it from Art DeVries. You'll see JoJo's doing it a bunch too. They've changed their chip technique to counting clicks on the pullback. So they pick their club, one click is a certain distance, and then they can just hammer it straight in the direction. Because it's a lot easier to, if you're chushing, hitting it straight can be kind of challenging, and the chush is really limited on your directions. But if you do one click back now, you have all your directions open, and it's still coming out a lot like a chush does. So it's kind of crazy. It's a little bit different, and I think that's going to catch on a bit. But Art is doing it. He was doing it with me in Cedar Rapids. He's getting it down. It's like he's like, I was a terrible chipper. I started doing one click back with like a 5-iron and then hitting it hard. And you can hit him a lot straighter because having it only read your perfect pullback on one click is a lot easier than having to get it halfway up. So it's an interesting theory there. What else do we've got? Let's look and see what other parts of this we have.
All right, so all the noise, as you guys can see, it's
all right, Gino and Gomez.
Gino and Gomez getting ready. So just like Andy Haas had to beat Ryan McCook twice to win, Mark Gomez got to beat Chris Longino twice to win the 2021 Dallas Holiday Classic Purple Bracket Champion.
I love Gomez's game. He just hasn't gotten to be where he's perfectly consistent all the time. He's got the upper end part of the game. And I think a lot of it is, I don't think the state of Wisconsin is just consistent in general. The only thing consistent in Wisconsin is Busch Lights being drank, and he doesn't even do that. He stopped doing that, so he's a sober guy now. So that's a little crazy. All right, so Gino.
Where do we want to see these guys? Where do we want to see these guys play?
I would say that 2's the better machine.
Oh, sorry, I meant course. They are on machine 2.
Yeah, this one here, it was a little off to me. It had some stuttering issues with it. Feels like a video card might have been going bad, or hard drive was starting to crap out on it.
All right, so they spun Anse.
Okay, so both Gomez definitely has a pass. You guys are going to have to make a call on Gino. Does he?
I mean, that's a Chris Longino call. Honestly, if he wants to play, he can't commentate. You know, it's tough. For somebody who's been around since the Golden T4 era, you know, he was one of the younger guys to get in Worlds back in the day. But yes, Mark Gomez does have a spot from the November 15th through the 21st.
And somebody said Gino has one too. I don't think he has one yet. I thought you guys pulled him out of the event he was going to get his pass last year.
I don't remember him having a pass. I remember him
like he would have gotten it, but they took his name out of one of the other ones. Like they took the name out of one of the commercial contests that he would have had it.
Yeah, I'll have to double check. Honestly, it's been
Jay's double checking. They got Nate Stowell made a pretty sweet Excel that he has it almost pulling and scraping. All right, so we got Anse. One is clearly not drivable. So there's not going to be any change. This is going to be 27 par.
27, huh?
Correct. Now, there's only one way it can change that it's not 27. There's the hole in the back 9 that was drivable before the tee box changes. And if you're playing Titans and not a non-wind ball like Stouts, then you can get it with an optimal setup. You can drive that with the 10.5 over the top of the trees to 400. But Stouts just can't hit a 10.5 400. So they're both playing Stouts, so we're at 27 par. It's going to be shot maker's delight here. All
right. So I am going back just to double check because it's been so long.
Yeah. All right. So he checked. He did check. Does not have a pass, and I'm almost 100% sure that I'm right. That Gino he would have won a pass on commercial the week after I got it on Dodge, the next week's 5-man event from 2020. And then you guys said he discussed and said he's going to be doing the announcing with you guys, and he's not competing. But unless that changes, then he would get the pass if he wins this, is my opinion. Unless he decides to do the commentating, then who is the third place in this?
Bacon.
Does Bacon have a pass? That's another interesting one to look at if Bacon has one.
So I went through back my messages with Chris Longino. I'd have to check emails, have Adam check his email because I know the conversation came up, but I just can't remember if he actually won his spot or the conversation was if he did.
He did not get the spot. He pulled you guys. He was in the event hadn't even finished. He would have gotten his spot, but he relinquished it. It went to the next person, and because he was going to be announcing.
Got it.
But either way, if Gino wants to, he will obviously be able to go out if right now he gets this pass. He has this pass right now. Whether he wins or loses, he'd get the pass.
Correct.
And if he chooses to do the announcing, then it would go down to Todd Clark, who didn't he get a pass already? No, I don't think Bacon has one either.
He does not have a pass. He has been one of those guys that's been running, I think, the last couple of weeks, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is just going to be a Gino decision. We'll probably have to get that decision based off of you guys pretty quick. Now, another one, I think Todd will be able to go out and get a pass this in the last – how many weeks of events are left to qualify?
We got
one more home edition week?
Yeah, I'd have to look. So So next week is going to be the last home edition one, and then there's the commercial one. We take a break over Christmas, and then we start back up at the first of the year for commercial.
And it's the last one then, right?
One or two, yes.
Okay. So he could – I mean, it's all feasible that I pretty much any of the players that make main brackets or even purple bracket finals at this one, you can get it's if you put any bit of time in it, you're going to get a pass. And it's not a cost prohibitive thing because they're not if I went out to go get a home edition pass, yeah, I might play 70 games, but I'm going to take top 5 in the event, which is going to make back my money. So it's just more a matter of time whether you're going to do it. Gomez did it on the par 3 one, I believe, recently, but he's there already. So they can get passes if they need to. It's not a big deal. But Todd Clark travels a ton. He might not have time to get in the game. So it might be beneficial for him to have Gino say he's a commentator for Worlds. And if you guys haven't checked, Gino does a phenomenal podcast. I mean, the podcast that he put himself out there with Don Pescione, you guys got to see a lot of the insights into the Golden Tee back end and hear how Don made a lot of his decisions back in the day. It was a neat look under the covers, right? You got to see some stuff. And Don doesn't hesitate. If you guys know Don, he'll speak his mind.
Well, he also retired 2 years ago.
It doesn't matter. He's not losing out of it. Yeah.
Actually, I think I said this the other day. He was in town. He was actually in town this weekend. So before I came out here to Dallas, him and Adam and I went and grabbed a drink and caught up on the world of Don Pescione and his dog JoJo and his wife Jill and Golden Tee and all that. So I would say it wouldn't surprise me if sometime in the future you see Don Pescione at a tournament. I'm going to try to get him out here to start competing.
I don't know if it's going to be competitive Golden Tee.
Well, he'll have a good time.
I mean, in the hierarchy of Golden Tee players that worked for IT, it's probably Sobey would have to be the number one. I mean, I don't. Who would have been better, you or Adam at their best? Adam was very solid for a point in time.
Yeah, it's tough because when Adam doesn't play as much as I do now, so it's hard to tell. And the game's a little different now than it was in 2011, 12.
And I mean, and then Brad Litz would be the other one on there. It's you
absolutely.
Four are really the only ones that could play that well.
Yeah.
I mean, all four of you could have made a main bracket very easily. You have exactly could have.
Yeah, I got in trouble one time from Don because I took 5th place in Florida a couple of years ago, but that's a whole other story.
Let's be honest, 5th, 6th, Kevin.
No,
Don't
sounds better.
Don't prop yourself up unnecessarily. We already know you're good. You're good. All right, Gomez. Now this hole's interesting. This is one of the par 3s that it's always the look is always right there. It is so hard to get the bounce right. You go with a 3-wood and bite, and it turns a little bit too much, or it gets a little hot past the hole and doesn't take the 2. You back it up. It's a little crazy, right?
Yeah, I also have had some real bad luck with the. With the tiers, too.
Now, this setup is a really interesting look here, too. Now,
one of the better ones, in my opinion, of the new tees.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Now, I couldn't tell. He hit that low tee, but he hit that a little hard.
Yeah, the low tee is the right play. This could even be a thumb shot here. You could get, if when he moved it past, I couldn't tell if the trees behind this first tree were in play, but if you could go thumb low tee forward, yeah, that's awful tight. A cut shot's going to be the smarter play here.
Also, another thing, too, because I know it's kind of cut off, you could tell by the golf ball where it's at.
Oh, you can? Okay. I didn't realize
honestly,
that.
I literally just thought of that now. I could have been using that the entire time.
All right, so guys, if you're looking at, we know that the player camera covers up the tees, but if you look at the actual golf ball, the golf ball on the tee is the illustration next to where the tee height would be. That changes, the illustration changes, so we can actually tell what tee he's on pretty easily.
Yeah, all this time I literally was just like, well, I can barely see the highlight, and then I was like, wait, there's a golf ball icon there.
This is another really interesting hole. You basically can shoot a bullet at this. When it's in the back, when it's up front, it's a tougher ace. When it's in the back, you can let it run at the hole. And look what Gino did.
Yeah, so use that down 5 to your advantage.
And it won't go as long as you're not like muscle spasm and all the way over the top. This ball won't go wet, and it's even with roll, it won't go wet because it's going to stick to the surface. And it's a really it's a really straight chip for them that I would doubt either one would miss if they were coming in from down there.
Yeah, but something not something you want to do in the finals of a
No.
purple bracket.
And he even putted that. Okay, good. All right, so it's still a square game, and apparently the announcement was made that Gino will have the World's Pass. I believe Sobel announced it over the. So it's going to be the case. Now, obviously, that could change, but I'm sure you guys, Kevin, you and Adam, will talk about it when you get back and figure out if he's.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Gino's great at what he does, and we love having him in the booth. But ultimately, it's his call if he wants to, play in the event or commentate. Not gonna be offended either way because he's great at both. So I'm happy to see him wherever he ends up being for World Championship next year.
Well, even though it's highly unlikely, if I do end up getting home and saying, no, I need to have surgery now, I will commit to commentating with you guys if I can't play because of back surgery. So I'll do that. And then we'll have another pass that gets given out. Hopefully, I don't really see myself. I'd rather cry while I'm playing than to not compete.
I was just saying, I love the thought behind what you're saying, but I've known you too long and too well.
I can't help it, man.
You can't be at something like that and not play.
No, I don't think
or
I don't think
like,
I could.
I'll commentate for you guys, and then you're going to bang out closest to the pin on Friday to win a pass again.
Yep. That could be. But, I mean, that would be something interesting to come up with, too, maybe as you guys set it up. If we do have a possibility of spots opening up, that events that you're doing leading up to it, those spots could get filled by those then.
Yeah.
So that's good. There's going to be a way to actually make sure that all the spots are filled and we don't have.
Yeah. I mean, we're still having the last chance closest to the pin that'll have some spots to it. Like we always do, we'll have a cutoff because we don't want people trying to. It's unfair for somebody to have to try to get a Vegas flight, with 2 weeks to the event kind of thing.
I don't think we're gonna. I think a lot of people are gonna be there anyway. It's gonna be. We're gonna have a decent crowd.
I mean, we had 120 people there in the Orleans, over 120, I think, competing on that Friday night event. So I'm hoping to see even more people in February 4th through the February 24th through the 27th.
All right, this is a great look. It's very rare that you hitting a thumb shot at this hole trying to make it.
Just around, no trees in play either.
Correct. Now, the question is, what is he going to He went high tee thumb. I like the play. It's uber safe, and it got a chance to go in. I probably would have hit the exact same shot, but now Gomez saw the line. He knows he's going to move that with the high tee 10.5. If he goes there and backs it up just a click or two, that ball is dead nuts in the center of the cup. But he looks like he's going to high tee 3 with release. And if you guys don't realize the 3, got it.
That.
Well done. Now, if you think he did not use the line and what happened and the reaction on what Gino's shot did to change the shot and make it happen, you're absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
He took every piece of read from that, saw that Gino hit it straight, and saw that the high tee 10.5 bounced a little too hot. And it hit and release it with the lower club. It got it down on the ground so that if he did hit the cup, it was going in. So it's beautiful. Is he going to get this one too? He needed some sort of spin on this. That's going to be short.
Oh! Yeah, okay. Don't give me that look.
Oh, no, it was. I mean, but if he released that shot, that drops.
No, I don't. Not with Stouts. If he had release on that, that thing would have been past the pin.
Not with the 6.
Oh,
but the Stouts said
Gino had release, that would have been.
It would have been a better one. Yep.
Yeah.
To me, on that one, I prefer not to hit the 6-wood because it just doesn't have the distances. It doesn't have the same reaction to distance based off of miles per hour of your swing that a lot of the other clubs do. The 6-wood is the one special club in there. So I try to stay away from it, and I'm thinking more on that shot. I go with a low 5-wood with release and back into the back of the box, hit the front of the green, and let that sucker just track right at the hole.
That makes a lot of sense. This is a hole that with the new tees.
I don't quite like it.
I don't like it.
It doesn't. There could have been more to it.
Now, one thing to note here. Gino's got to be careful because he's only got 3 tees
Yeah, but
left.
tees can be rebought.
Right, he just needs to make sure he doesn't do that classic hit the start button, he's out of tees, and then...
Yes, you set a tee that you don't have and then hit the ball forward.
Yeah,
You're not
3
smart.
feet.
There is a lot of tee left in this one, guys, but the rest of these holes, I don't look at the Once holes near the end of this to be really good ace looks. 18 can be a terrible ace look.
Yeah.
17, you gotta. A lot of the times you're gonna have to play that off the tee to get an ace. It all depends on where your tee boxes are located the rest of the way. The long par 4 that used to be a par 5 and will be a par 5 again here after midnight tonight,
Yep.
right? So guys, that's another reminder. Make sure you close out your invites that somebody's already played. If neither person has played an invite, you won't have any effect on it.
Well, so even if somebody's played the invite, everyone will get refunded.
Get refunded? I thought that everyone gets DNF'd and the person that played the invite actually gets the win.
No, everyone will get the contest will get closed and everyone will get refunded their money.
Okay, I want to say you're right, but I thought for sure that if someone played it, it's wiping out, like their score has already counted, and the other people that haven't played it get a DNF. So it would be like if we played a 2-man invite, I DNF'd is whatever score you put up. If you finish the game, you win.
Right.
I think I'm right with that, but be sure, guys. Just make sure if your opponent played it, take a second tonight, go play your 5 games or your 20 invites that you got before midnight. Commercial games, there's not much you can do about it at the end of the night. A lot of us here, when we're gambling, we're going to wake up to a lot of refunds in the morning.
Yeah.
And I got to say, if the alcohol consumption goes along par with the rest of the tournaments, I think a lot of us will be happy getting that $1 back.
Or you could just play, stats play.
Yeah, we could. I don't want those to refund. They got to refund.
No, the glory play won't refund. Don't you worry.
And is it? Now, what about invites that are set to like tropical or pine? There's no changes on those.
No change on those.
It only affects the ones that are in the box changes. And I think that this year's box changes, there were enough differences that you're gonna have to make some harder choices with club selections. I know after the club changes, after the tee box changes, I know I took away the 8.5 driver on almost all my bags for this year, but with the going back with half and half, I might have to put it back in.
It's good run there by Gino.
All right, so it's still a one-stroke game. Gomez is. Oh no.
Yep, no, he didn't put him in yet.
Oh, it said through 15. Whew. All right, so Gomez has got the whole lot. He's up 1. He's 28-27 going right now if you finish out clean. This one here, okay, Gino got a bad look for a chance to get a hole out. This is going to be tough. I mean, you almost like to turn right once, but you're playing an 8.5 driver. If you go right once, that 7 wind isn't moving it back toward the green. Mark hit it. That's what he had to do.
Yeah, you want to leave yourself a short putt.
You just middle of the greens. That's all he has to do. And Gino now has to attack this. Yeah. I mean, you're thinking 17, can I attack? Yes, but it can be in spots where attacking's bad.
Those setups are all, some of them are long, some of them are short, so you really can't play with that in effect until you actually get to that hole and say, okay, it's time to go for it. But it's a good shot.
Catching fringe was huge for him there. If that caught green, he would have had a tough chip. Now, he could also be thinking, too, well, let's just wait. Now, I'm going to wait it out and wait and see on 18, because 18, man, if you get that pin right up at the front and you're tucked behind all the trees, it is. I mean, you're cutting it. You got to cut it close to be short. If you miss it slightly right and hit the rocks, it can bounce long. A lot of stuff to think about here, but let's see. Let's look at 17. This is a big shot, big hole. All right, it's a very attackable hole, guys. We got a 9 wind left to right. With Stouts, we're looking at a 4.5, and it looks like on that tee box you can actually do this and play this out. Okay, he went with the high TG wedge. That was unique, very safe. So I'm thinking if I'm Gino, I'm going to the back left of the box. I'm low teeing the 9-iron, and I'm going to bite this and try to pull it in. Wow, okay, he's going high tee roll. I don't think this is going to be the best chance to get it, because that wind is going to move it more than you'd think, and it's not going to kick forward as much for him. So when you get those bigger winds with the higher lofted club, I want to take the loft out of it as much as I can and shoot a bullet at the hole. And in that case, the low 9-iron, it would have been an awfully hard bullet. You probably would have still had to play a bite. You can't fault the shots, and 18 turns out to be a really good look. Only thing that can happen here is somebody muscle spasms it, but Gino actually could go for the ace here too. Oh, good shot. Okay, Gomez did everything he had to do. I think Gino comes from this angle, straight at it. Maybe hits a high 5 with roll or release and just tries to turbo it at the hole.
Rob Nelson, come get your money.
You got to love the hubby-wife matchups. Uh-oh. Get it, baby. Oh, Gino hit a peach. He hit a peach. That's a peach. Okay, so Mark Gomez, first step in a double dip is complete. He got the first game. Shot of one better to Gino's clean game, guys. This is Purple Bracket Finals doing this. Purple Bracket was a indictment. People, it was back for years. It was like you made the purple, it was a bad thing. Making the purple right now is actually pretty dang challenging, and these guys are going to shoot. I have under the contention now that winning a purple bracket is just as hard as winning a main, because the fact is, yeah, I got to play 32 of the best, but I got to play 64 people now that all have the ability to shoot a clean round. And it's another 2 matches for me to win the tournament. So I got to shoot clean rounds an extra 2 games. That's tough to do. Forget about opponents in general. Now, you may get those games where your opponent just does not have the tournament acumen to keep up with you, but it's going to be few and far between. So I think that the winner of this has put on quite a show for themselves this weekend too. All right, so Gino's got honors. Let's see what they're playing. I didn't quite see the course as it spun up. Tropical. Okay, this can go either way. We're going to see, I honestly, the person, if somebody can make the chush on one, I think that's going to go a long way to winning this match. But there is a lot of holes at the end of this too, so. All right, so Gino, perfect spot. He's got a chush. I'm not sure if he's even a chusher. He might have gotten a little too close. He might have a lip, but I believe he's going to have a 5-wood chush from there. Let's see what Mark does. He's going to go straight at it from the other side, and he's also going to chush this as well. Going to have a very similar chush. Yeah, we're looking at 5 woods on both of these. All right, Mark made sure to pause before wiping the ball down. Very well done, Mark. Okay, now he must chush at different speeds because this is a 5-wood. For me, if you guys are trying to learn the chush shot, a good baseline is 20% of the club at 38 to 39 miles per hour is the distance that the club will go on a chush. Mark does not play. He plays a higher speed. Me, I'm going to chush at 35. That is the minimum you can chush it. And for me, I would go, it's about 18% at 35. So I would have gone with the 5-wood bite chush. And you see different techniques. Gomez kept the line straight, but since he plays his chushes harder, you're not going to be as robotic with it. But no love lost. Now hole 2. Another big one here. We got a pin. It looks like the pin's going to be in the back. Oh, middle. Now, you got a lot of different options here. You can hit a high 5-wood around over the top. You can hit the 9.5. Wow, okay. He went through a gap that I don't ever hit that 10.5 through. I'm normally swooping this around to drop the height a bit. That's an impressive darn shot. I would have been going to the outside because it drops the height and it takes away the trees. What Gomez did. That's the shot I play. He shouldn't be mad about that. I don't think that losing a stroke on this if he misses this chip is that big a deal. He did not lose a stroke there. That's a heck of a chip. Hopefully Gino stacks up a putt from here. He played it off that fringe to take more of the break, and it came off very clean. All right, so 1-stroke lead, not a big deal. There's going to be stroke changes the rest of the way. It does change your mentality and how you're going to approach some of these holes. Like you're going to hit a shot to be safer if you're Gomez, and you're going to see Gino start attacking holes. Okay, so he went low T release. Mark Gomez goes from the school of word of mouth. The problem here on this one is that wind in your face almost plays like your normal wind from this height. So even though it's 6 with stouts, it's with the height change and the elevation change and the trajectory that the ball's landing at, this is almost playing as a normal 6 on a level shot with standard wind balls. The low T shot with release, I like that because it takes a bit of that wind out of it. It changes you're not coming from as high as a spot, so you can kind of make it more of a laser beam. It's just that you couldn't move that in the back of the box, low T release it. You had to leave it low T release from where it was up at the front, and the bounce is still tough to play and get it in.
This is probably the best look that I've seen on this hole all weekend long.
Yeah, there've been some pretty bad ones. Now, there's going to be two ways of playing this. You can go here and overcut it, right? And it's going to get a different kind of backspin. He's going to check harder left. I don't know. Gino comes from more of an old school. I probably would have aimed from this line that he's on and put just a baby cut on it with a 3-wood and then throw it out. That's going to make my line on the pullback come in and fight that right 3 real nice. Like that. You see, you can
Yes.
straighten that line out. And that's really all you're doing with changing your angles from a full to a baby cut and around an obstacle. It's making the ball, the trajectory and the angle that is coming in on the green. I think that the way that Gino did that, you can dial a line in much easier. If you have to play a cut and have to be precise between half to the BC and just inside of the C, you have a lot more room for error there. I mean, Gino could basically, with that shot, pull it straight back. And, okay, I pull it straight back. That wind's not pushing enough, so I only need to just get it slightly right to get it to start curving.
Just get around those trees.
And then he also played a lower lofted club. He ended up playing the 3-wood compared to Gomez's 4, so he can then also get more of a direct line that's a laser beam coming back at the hole. And I say that word a lot, like using the stouts like bullets or laser beams, right? It's how you need to do that. It's how you should be playing them. Now, this is a little off-putting here because it looks like it's lining you up straight at the hole, but straight at the hole is it got the trees in the way. 60 only. They only got 60 shots and there's 200 people here?
What a cheap.
That's so. Oh.
That's probably the amount of people in this building that actually like Fireball.
I know, but I say I'd have one and not drink it just to make McCook spend a couple of them hard-earned dollars.
Going king undefeated.
And it's a tough field, but I mean, hey, he got on.
Oh, yeah.
There were some strange starts at the beginning, though, man. I mean, like, I didn't expect to. Hey, playing CJ, okay, he holds out once. I had to go to attack. That's fine. That match can go either way. I did not expect my first round of the losers bracket to be Clint Drover. So and he shoots one better on me there too. So they both hold out right away on me.
Yeah, it takes
60, Jay.
6 shots probably would have incited a riot.
Yeah, and it has. We have had those in the past. We're not going to mention any names. They've since rectified it and made up for it. But yeah, there have been a few times in the past. I remember a time where I took second place and ended up buying shots because the winner left and did not buy shots. And it, in fact, it was twice. Actually, it was actually twice.
All right,
I do like this too.
The wind kind of caught the tail end of that. It blew it a little bit to the left there, but
now if we're looking at Gino, he looks like he's a little stressed. He's kind of starting to feel like he might get double dipped.
Well, I think the stress of it just being tropical falls, by the way, is
I think that it should make him happy then.
I don't know. I went through the same thing. Now, granted, that was just like my third match and not as far as these guys are, but Gino, he's a good player, but I don't know if he's really used to like the high stress situations of not necessarily high stress, but you know what I mean, like these finals of purple, where like you said earlier, purple is now just as difficult as top 32 with the gold bracket.
Absolutely, but in purple bracket though, if I'm in purple bracket, I want all my matches to be on pine and tropical because and this is just the mathematics of it. The remastered courses gets less play than the other courses.
Mm-hmm.
They do. So the chances of a purple bracket player being somebody that's playing 1,000 games a month of everything, slim to none. For Gomez, getting this course is probably a ton better because he plays a lot more games than Gino does. So he's probably extremely happy with that. And like I said, if I'm in the purple bracket, if I'm in the purple bracket, I want every course to be that. I don't want to see Baja because I could shoot a clean round on Baja, and anybody in the purple could shoot a one better.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to see the 2 remasters.
No, that's a good point. Real quick, how often are you going down here?
You should never go here.
Okay.
You should absolutely never go here. The problem that most people have is they don't understand the heavy rough. And the heavy rough is one of those surfaces in Golden Tee that doesn't make sense compared to the other ones. The heavy rough gets more backspin than regular rough. But the overhead view shows that you're losing 33% on the swing, it looks like. But there's a really easy way to determine heavy rough. If you have a level shot and no wind, right, the club and this is the club, not the overhead meter. The club that is at the distance that your shot is the club that you should hit. So if let's say I'm 235 away from the pin, even though the 6-wood will show that I can only hit it 210 or 220, the 6-wood is the right club. You max that out, and that will land right at 235. So then you just have to adjust, and if you have a little wind in your face,
wow, that
okay.
was.
But even if you have a little wind in your face or a little outwind, you adjust accordingly. But then you hit it with backspin or bite, and it backspins almost a normal spin. So the way I say that it's wrong to not go to that heavy rough is because if you're hitting an 8.5 in from 320, and I'm hitting a 6-wood in from 235, even from the heavy rough, my 6-wood has more spin on it than my driver at 8.5 that I have to murder.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And especially those. You saw those guys were slamming drivers. I haven't seen a look where you have a 3-wood going into that. Even with that 11-mile wind, these guys were still crushing it.
Yeah, no. The only time I was before I got decent at shushing, I was playing arrows on this. So 90% of the time, I didn't go short or to the island. I would go all the way over, and I would have a 130-yard thumb shot in. Because you would hit that arrow ball, if you caught it straight, it would go 420 into the other fairway. It was nice. And the downhill, sometimes you get it 450. But the reason I can't play arrows is this hole specifically. Because I can't go down to a 5-wood and hit it because there's tree line on the left that I'd hit. If it's at 330 and you're playing stock balls on a cut shot then, because with the arrows, they're stock balls. So I'm cutting a driver. It just got this hole would eat me up. Other than that, arrows were fantastic on this. You could do some really fun stuff.
So now it's interesting. Gino's got the lead because Gomez missed his putt.
He's got a 2-stroke lead now, doesn't he?
No.
He missed his putt for. Oh no, he didn't water it.
Right. Yes, he
got par.
Yeah, so it's Gino's up 1. Gino hit a shot that was a little hot in here, barely catching the end of the fringe there.
No, he had problems putting from this stuff before. What he's got to know here is it's a down 4. The putt will come off pretty clean, but not fully clean. It will get there, but so you would have been playing that as left 5 or left 6. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you switch the 2 players there, Gomez wouldn't miss that putt because he's playing a ton more, and he's got a mindset, and he knows what he's going to hit when he's on the fringe. He knows, okay, this putt can go in. I know this. I just got to play it. Great look for this hole. This is going to be a swinger. Now, we look. The 2 turns, this is a great way to judge this. Turn twice, go face your line of the pin, 2 turns out. If your 2 turns out is to the hole, that's a beautiful shot. If the 2 turns out is to the hole, then you can get it with a right to left wind. If it's 2 turns is to the right of the hole, then if the wind's left to right, you have to work on getting the cut to come inside, and you couldn't go much inside on this. So if you needed to stick this, you'd either be doing the 2-iron spinny shot from here, or you would turn right. He left it too far out. Catch sand. Oh! Now, I know this chip is scary, and it is scary but you can be really aggressive here, and as long as you don't under hit the chip from here, you're no risk. So, I'm going at this with my whatever club I'm chipping with. Now, he's got super spin, though. He could thumb this and get the wind right. He's playing a cut. He might have gotten that, though.
Well, just like that,
Guys, this course is a swing course, man. So now it's one the other way. And the next hole could very easily get you, too.
Yeah, and isn't the next one coming up that par 4 that's fringe drivable? Or, it's kind of 50-50 probably. After this one.
The island. It's a par 5, right?
Yeah, no, it's par 4.
Is it really?
Yeah. But this is actually a hell of a pin.
Well, and I don't know what he's doing. I didn't really love the bite, but it shouldn't come back. But if that happened to hit just over the fringe, that bite probably pulls that over the edge. Gino cannot do that with super spin. With how hard he has to hit this to get that there. This is, for me, Gino high-tee this thumb bite with that's it. He nailed it. That's it. This is a chance of being in. And it is.
Oh!
Oh, gosh.
Wow, you played this game before?
But
that's beautiful.
It just happened to work. It happened to line up perfectly for him. Now, the funny thing is, though, if I understand Gomez doesn't want to bring a high tee into play there, because if you high tee that shot and you don't do it all the time, do you fluff it, lay off of it, thinking that you're going to go long?
But then
that's a normal thumb shot. That had to have been a full thumb shot, even with the high tee or you're short.
Oof.
Okay.
And this is the hole I was talking about. There's no chance that
it's absolutely 100% there.
Really?
Yeah, high tee 8.5 is there all day. You have to hit it flush. The problem is that you're going to be fighting back into it. Now, here's the other thing. If you do slightly miss this with the high tee, it has a really good chance of hitting the top of the last mountain. And if it hits up there with not a wind in our face, that ball's bouncing forward enough. You could fly this with the 8.5 too. And
I think this is the better decision. I mean,
I don't know. For me, it's not. But now, for me, though, I'm a G wedge in, I don't really know where to lay up on this. I actually would have put it way shorter because then I know I'm going to be in the spot where I have 4 clubs that are
right. I did that earlier when I laid up. I kind of made sure I had something in the between.
I mean, this is
No,
to me,
this is
that just proved to me that neither one of them are 100% confident in what they're doing right now. You would have watched if this is the Haas McCook match, and Haas doesn't even think about that. He tries to nut that right at the green. And the other thing I'm looking at too is, okay, even if I go wet, if I've got a sandwich like these guys, my drop's going to be 60 yards away with 14 crossing my face. I could thumb that thing in with roll and try to bullet it at the hole with no risk, so I could still get my birdie that they're getting. But where they left this is challenging. This is bad. All right, he got it up. Good. That's fine.
I mean, that's about as good as you can get with that because you don't want to get too cute.
No, and you can't. There's no run in here. You can't.
Now, Gino, I don't like his.
Well, he's just going to murder it. So it's going to get there. The balls
There's
he
a lot
played
more
there would
risk
have
in play
been
there.
release. But if he knows, though, it was a 14 wind, 7 miles per hour will turn a sand wedge back from one click. So he knew that was turning that back to the green. He didn't think there was any risk. The risk would have been as if he cut it and then hit a full shot forward. Then he hits short and hits that fringe, and it might kick backwards. It might kick forward. So it would have been a little bad. The cookie comment there. All right. So this is going to be your simple one, but can we lay up for an attacking hole? For me on this one, since I play a 3-driver bag, I lose that 4-iron, so I don't have my iron. I cover a distance between a 5-iron and a 9-wood, and this hole can line up to be where that 4-iron would be perfect. So I have to be a little cognizant of it there because I can't low tee a 9-wood from the fairway. This is actually, I don't understand that shot. Like that one I don't quite get. There was nothing about that said I'm trying to win this match. Gino's going to thumb this with really. He needs release. But he's thumbing 99s. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm thumbing mid 80s. He's a 99s to 100s. And guys, please don't watch somebody else's thumbs necessarily and see. Oh, they're thumbing 85. I have to thumb 85.
Everyone's thumbs work differently.
I planned the last Worlds that we had. I had the honor and privilege of qualifying at that one with Dean Liakakis.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and we were both kind of, and honestly, it was so weird. It was a little bit surreal to have a guy that when I started playing Golden Tee, like I was watching them and asking him questions during this whole thing. Where I'm almost like coaching him through the match play.
Yeah.
And so, and we were both. He was a little bit farther off than me, and I was real close on the cut line. I got a real lucky ace on 17 at Crawdad Swamp, and that was wet all day, but it just rammed
Cup
right
got
in.
in the hole, or Cup got in the way.
And then on Sand Hill, I think I shot a 5 better during it. I shot a 33 on Sand Hill to top Sand Hill, so I jumped way up. But we get to a hole, and I turn right, and I'm like thumb 9-iron straight with backspin, and I do it, and and Dean's like looking all around. I go, Dean, what the hell are you doing, man? You didn't just watch me turn directionally once and thumb it straight. And he's like, what are you talking about? You and your 85-mile-per-hour thumbs. I can't thumb less than 110. It's crazy. It's so use that and play your own game. Get all the info you can from it. It's all there for your taking, and then adapt to what swings you're hitting. Oh, okay. This might be the really bad one. If that doesn't kick out, no, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. That's good. But no, dude, sandwich smash with release. It's going to hit the downslope of the hole, and it's going to track right at it, and it will not have a chance of getting past and going long.
I see, but you can tell he's like, it feels like he's almost doubting himself, like he's getting in his own head and getting in his own way.
But when I get in my own head, I go to the thing that I can't mess up. I can't mess up hammering a ball.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to cut this 9-iron
club down and smash.
I can miss this. If I mess this up, I'm wet, and this game's over. This is such a great course for match play. It really is,
Yep.
guys. As much as I like Pine, I really don't like the lesser pars. If Pine had a higher par. See what I mean about the release though? That thing would have been tracking.
Yeah.
But it's okay. One stroke. Are they?
I think he's still down.
It's tied now, right? Tie ball game, guys.
Yep.
So no better way to go at this, man. And these are remember, guys, Gomez was top 4 in the last big event in the main bracket. So, I mean, it's not an indictment of skill if you end up in the purple. This one, though, honestly, you didn't have to shoot that well for top players. Like, I played abysmally bad fighting through things. I mean, I don't remember the last time I shot 24 on any course this year. And I shot a 24 on Forest and ended up making the cut in top 20. Like, it was fortuitous that we had the Pine and Tropical because that really separates the field.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. The top guys have such an advantage. Not because we played them when they were original, but just because they play more games, and these courses are the ones you don't play as much. You haven't had as much time.
Yeah, people avoid them because they get a little dicey.
Yeah, they do. But, I mean, I like playing Tropical more now because I got hole 1. I mean, hole 1 is the perfect way to learn how to chush. Go in casual games, go in any game mode, on your home edition, play at the bar, play a 4-player set and on hole 1, and you will teach yourself how to chush in 10 games. It's that simple. I mean, once you get it down, you're there.
I like this.
I like this too. Now,
These,
what's the aggressive
these guys are
level
going to
here?
run, but they got to be aggressive, but you can't be too aggressive.
So, I mean, to me, the right shot is the aggressive shot and the only shot here. It's a low T9 backspin with a half cut, throw it way out, let it check across, even hit the wall. It won't come off the wall. As long as you don't hit the wall and fly it, look at this. Exactly like that.
I thought I was going to get a little bit extra love off that
all
wall.
sorts of love in there, too. You could hit the wall four different places. He could hit where Gino did, short of the little curve in the wall. If you miss that, go burning up and hit the other part. That will come right down. To me, it's like a power putt player. Steve Dakin would have a great advantage here because he knows what angles that IT likes off of walls to bank shit in. All right, so
An 18, I can't. I mean, not to say these
you
guys
should never
can't-
miss 18.
Yeah.
I did in the qualifier.
Now the only thing with 18 is the putt.
Correct.
But this is a really nice
all
setup.
right. So the only thing that can happen here, if they thumb this is where I'm going back to. If you thumb this, you do have a risk of missing this and not getting this your left 1 or 2 clicks right away and funneling off the right. He got it left enough. He's got backswing. This might be in. Okay. Oh, so good. So good. So does Gomez now go with the 9.5 and try to ace it? This is a tough decision, right? You saw the shot he hit. You know if you backed it up on the box and did the same thing, he pushed it a little bit more inside left, so he's going to miss it a little bit right.
Oh!
Oh, wow! That's a hell of a finish, guys.
Oh, wow. Mark Gomez.
Facebook user, you can actually there's always going to be a bag of clubs that the clubs that you have are in it. And you're on hole 1. Hole 1 a chush. You're gonna always just want to have your 5 irons up to the top. So it really won't matter for you, chush. You'll be able to do it, guys. That's an insane finish. That is an insane finish to a hell of an event.
And honestly, as disappointing as this for Gino, that's the way. If you're gonna lose a match, that's how you want to lose on an exciting shot like that.
Now, is he going to sit back? Now, Gino's a competitor. He's been doing this a long time. He's not thinking that. He's not thinking I lost on an ace. He's thinking I missed 2 damn putts from the fringe.
Yes.
Putts that I don't miss. I should never have missed and shouldn't. I mean, for me, Gino had every chance to win that. The first game, give Gomez credit. Hole outs in back-to-back games. But even Gomez is probably sitting there going, hey, man, how did I even put myself in that position?
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to wait make sure that we get the brackets. Let's have Kevin and I will take one last look. I think the brackets will update real quick. We'll take a look.
They'll go through, do the final points calculations, make sure everyone that is in the top 64 points. PEGTtour.com. Click on the points leaders up at the top.
And then we pretty much now can start coming up. I mean, I want to say, did Gomez just pass me? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
I don't think it changed. So why don't we we're going to cut after this. We're going to get a good break here. I want to say he's probably going to give us an hour till 6 maybe. I don't know. Maybe a half an hour. We'll keep you apprised. You might have to stay tuned, and I'm sure that the gentleman, the production team will put a timer up when we're getting ready to go. Okay,
Yeah.
but it is going to, the stream will end. You're going to have to find the link again, click back in, get into it.
Yeah.
Before you jump out, make sure you got your notifications set up. You subscribe to myself, to Kevin, to Golden Tee. Get Golden Tee TV. Richard hasn't been he's been a more less vocal and behind the scenes piece.
Yes, he's been doing
he's
great.
here running around, man.
Oh, yeah, we were shooting some pictures late last night to get the lighting good. We're getting some new headshots of all the players and everything. If you're on Golden Tee Fan, don't worry. You can stick around to that group. This video will go live. I believe it comes live from my Facebook account, Golden Tee Golf on Facebook, Golden Tee on YouTube and Twitch. PEGTtour.com again to check out those the full results of the purple and the gold brackets, and then of course the points leaders.
And now we've got the brackets set. Let's go through a couple of them. We started Paul Luna, Art DeVries. Okay, Art can play if it's on his game. I mean, he played me really tough on Pine in Nashville, but he had to make 5 chips to keep up.
Yeah.
And eventually, that's not a way to sustain winning. You can't be doing that. Okay, so we're going to get into break here. We'll get back started a little bit. We'll go through some of the featured matches. We'll get going there. Just keep an eye out, and we'll go it. Kevin Lindsay, you want to take us out?
Yeah. For Mark on the Mouth McClevich, I'm Kevin Lindsay. We'll check you guys back here. Again, an exciting finish to both the gold bracket and the purple bracket here at the 2021 Dallas Holiday Classic. Join us back within the next half an hour to an hour for the 2021 Top Gun Little Gun Player of the Year. Not only is there over $35,000 on the line in the prize pool, but the purple bracket, the Little Gun, is also going for a World Championship qualifying spot. So we'll join you guys back here shortly. Again, we got to connect with Steve Sobel to see how long it's going to be. All right, so it'll be I would say about 45 minutes. So make sure you're subscribed to Golden Tee's YouTube, Twitch, all that, and we'll see you guys here again shortly.
2021 has been another crazy year in the world, but live Golden Tee tournament events have been just the break we needed. This year's tournament circuit started off in exciting fashion at the Wisconsin Open back in March, where Minnesota's Andy Fox took down the seemingly unstoppable Paul Anthony Luna in overtime. Luna wouldn't stay down for long, though, as he would fight his way back the following month at the Florida Open, taking down veteran player Ryan McCook to secure his first 2021 victory. And at the Missouri Open in June, hometown player Joe Massara was handed another second-place trophy, once again at the hands of Houston's Paul Luna, continuing his winning streak. We then made our way to the Music City Madness in Nashville, Tennessee for the very first time, where Paul Luna once again stood tall, this time taking down 2-time world champion Andy Haas to claim victory. Luna's streak would end in October at the Carolina Clash, though, because Illinois' Clint Grover, a player who days before the tournament wasn't sure if he'd even be able to make it, would end up taking down Ohio's Gary Sheldon for the title. And as we get ready for this year's final tournament events on December 9th through December 12th, we look back to 2019's Austin Holiday Classic, where we saw Andy Haas double-dip King of the Hill David Duncan to win the championship. This year's Dallas Holiday Classic has $11,000 added to the prize pool and over 200 players already signed up. Following the Holiday Classic is the Top Gun Little Gun Player of the Year events, where in 2019 we saw Lance Harris win his very first Power Events tournament. Who will walk away with the top titles of the year and part of the $35,000 prize pool? Will any of the usual suspects dominate again? Or will we have brand new champions on our hands going into 2022? We will find out in a very short time. Sign up today at PEGTtour.com or watch it live at GoldenTee.com.